let's talk about installment and credit and the cost of credit finance. So one thing that we talk about is a schedule of payments. These would be our 48 payments. So we have our grand total of 4 years, 48, 12 months in a year. So that's 48 months. Our 48 equal payments of $1,241.85. Do note that the principal and interest amounts fluctuate. You're paying this down, so the amount of interest that you're paying goes down the more that you pay out on your principal. So that $55,000 in vehicle purchase will end up costing you a grand total of $59,000, roughly. Mortgage is another thing that we typically would buy on credit, where we figure out how much money we need to borrow at the percent. We've lived there for 30 years, we've paid off the mortgage, so we've made our monthly payments. Our total amount paid is going to be $300,000, a little over $300,000 with our monthly installment payments. If we made no monthly payment, paid it all at the end of the 30 years, we would owe quite a bit more, right? We're paying for that convenience of making those payments all the way at the end. This would be your schedule of payments. So what is installment credit? Installment credit is when you make monthly payments. Characteristics of installment credit is going into a contract to make monthly payments, make a down payment and then monthly payments. We use these things for to buy our houses, cars, appliances, some big ticket items where we don't have that money all at once. In the fact of a house, we might not have even a credit limit for all of that, right? Where we're going to be able to pay that down all at once. So we make this installment credit or installment loan. So a little bit of terminology for you. Could be some new words. An installment loan is simply a loan where we make equal payments or installments to pay off that loan. Your down payment, like I was talking about earlier, your down payment is the money that you're going to put down before figuring out how much you're going to borrow, and then you're going to borrow the rest, right? So if a house or something might cost $2,000, you might put $20 down and then promise to pay the rest of that $1,980 over a series of months. Your amount financed is the amount that you're borrowing. It's the amount of the loan. A single payment loan is one where you pay at the end of the period. So you might borrow $150,000 for 30 years. You can get it, and then pay at the end of those 30 years that almost $400,000 back with interest. A promissory note is simply your promise to pay. Typically, you're going to sign a promissory note. It is a legal document that indicates your promise to repay the loan in these installments. Typically, like I said, you're going to be using these kinds of loans to buy some big ticket items. These big ticket items are going to be your collateral. It's going to be the property or what holds the loan. What gives me faith that if you don't pay, I can come back and collect. I might not get my money, but at least I can get the property, right? So if I loan you money to buy a house, if you don't pay on that house, then I can at least come and get the house back. Take the house back. And then a cosigner. A cosigner is kind of like a co-borrower, except they are not on the hook unless you stop paying. So typically, if you have low or no credit, or you may have had some difficulties in the past, where you're just starting out, where you have not built up that credit, a bank or someone might ask to or ask for a cosigner, for you to bring a cosigner. That is somebody that trusts you, that may have a better relationship. A lot of times it's a parent or a really close friend that you know that will kind of vouch for you, that says, yeah, they're going to pay. Be careful about being a cosigner for somebody, because you are, by being a cosigner, you are guaranteeing that they are going to pay that loan. So if they don't pay that loan, you will pay that loan. So a couple of formulas that we need to be aware of. These are also in your notes. The down payment is simply the purchase price times the percent that is required to be down. Sometimes it's 20%, 10% maybe, but that's how you can calculate your down payment. And then your amount financed is the price minus the down payment. That's how much you're borrowing, the rest of the amount that you're going to borrow. So Rebecca, when we look at our example, Rebecca purchases a washer and dryer for $1,140. She used the store's installment credit plan to pay for the items. She made a down payment and then financed the rest. How much did she finance if she made a 20% down payment? So let's calculate this out. 20% of $1,140. So we want to take our calculator. Let me pull my calculator over here. We're going to take our 1140 and just multiply that by 0.2 or 20%. That's going to tell me that the amount that I put down was $228. Now I need to take my 1140 and minus the $228 to give me $912. This is the amount that we're going to finance. This is the rest of the amount after we have paid our down payment. So we take our 1140 again, multiply it by 20% to get our $228. Then take our 1140 minus 228 to get $912. Good job. Promissory notes. So again, a promissory note is simply an IOU. There's some terminology that needs to go along with your promissory note. Promissory note, IOU, same thing. The principal, so we want to write down how much you owe me, right? So that's the first thing. Time, when are you going to pay me? The date of maturity is the date that you are going to pay me. So it might be a 360-day promissory note. That would be then the date of maturity would be 360 days from today. The payee is to whom you owe the money. If it's between you and me, then I am the payee, right? The interest, that's going to be also on this note, going to be included as part of the terms. So not only the dollar amount, but we're also going to ask, or you're going to include the interest rate. And then finally, the maker. You are the one who promises to make the payment. So that would be the writer or whoever is borrowing the money. So to calculate simple interest, you might have heard this before. Interest is your principal times your rate times your time. Great thing about math is it doesn't matter which order you go in. Principal times the rate times the time, time times the rate times the principal, rate times the principal times the time, regardless. Multiply those three things together and you get your total amount interest. Then you take that, add in the principal, the amount that you borrow, and that is the total amount. So in this example, Joyce borrows $900. Our annual interest rate is 5.5%. She's going to pay back the loan in 3 months. How much does she owe? And what is the total amount paid? So our first thing is to identify all the pieces, right? So our principal, and we're going to go with interest. Okay? The interest at 5.5%. Oh, good. We want to find our principal. Our principal is the $900 that we're borrowing. Our rate is this 5.5%. But this is 5.5%, right? So we're going to have to do a little bit of math to figure that out. And we're going to have to do a little bit of math for the time. So 900, 5.5% times 3 over 12. This math, this 3 divided by 12, because we said the time was 3 months. There are 12 months in a year, so I know I just put 3 divided by 12, I'm fine. If it's a number of days, we typically put the number of days divided by 360. I am fully aware, as are all of the financial institutions in the United States of America and the world, that there are 365 days in a year. In a financial year, we use 360 days. It makes the math a lot easier. 30 days in a month, 30 times 12, 360. So we take our 900, I convert this into a decimal. I can also take 3 divided by 12 to convert this into a decimal. I multiply all those numbers across, $12.37.5. We don't deal in half cents, so we're going to go ahead and round that up, $12.38. That is the principal. Now the amount paid, I'm going to have to add that to my principal. Or I'm sorry, this is the interest I'm going to have to add to the principal. So the total amount paid, $912.38. Lena Green's loan computes 14% interest. She took out $1,000 and has to pay it back in 10 days. How much interest does she owe, and what is the amount paid? Again, we want to find the interest at 14%. First step. Same formula. Our $1,000 principal, 14% rate. This time we're going to use the 360. So 10 days divided by 360 days. Again, we're going to have to go up. That is incorrect. It does not round to that. 1,000 times 0.4 times 10 divided by 60 is 300 or 3.88888888. So should be 308 or $3.89. I don't know why this says 3.8356. Not sure. Sorry about that. And then we find the amount paid. We're going to take our interest, $3.89, add it to our principal of $1,000, and that is what we owe. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Stop by office hours. Remember, office hours Monday from 7 to 10 in the Zoom. Wednesday, 1 to 4 in the Zoom. Friday, 9 to noon in the Zoom. You can reach out to me by email. You can reach out to me Canvas message, throw me a text, anything. If you have any questions.